Welcome to the Healthy Hearts and Guillotines podcast. This is Chessie. I'm so glad you're here with us this week. We are just going full send because we have been up and down on this topic for the last hour, trying to sort of get our brains around it. And I'm here with Zakim.
And what is that topic, dear Chessie?
This is the sort of dumbest apocalypse we could possibly have found ourselves in, or stupidest dystopia. This makes that old movie Idiocracy, just seem like a charming, pleasant outcome for mankind. This week we are talking about artificial intelligence through the lens of politics and health. I'm so sorry.
We are sorry we have to do this, but we have to do this.
You kind of have to. If you're living in 2025, you are living in the era where you can have your AI girlfriend tell you to kill yourself.
Hell. I'm not sure to say yes or no, but
it's in my mind, it's hell no. This is such an odd topic to be finding ourselves on, because when I was reading science fiction as a small child and I encountered things we used to call artificial intelligence in video games, I never had it in my head that they could possibly be as dumb as what we now have.
Because they started as, translation machines. Then they moved on to checkers, then to chess. In, 1997, they beat a world champion. Like, okay, it's smart, it's good. And now...
Now it's gone from being what looked like an incredibly cool magic trick to being the most depressing possible outcome of a magic trick. It's like if you were to get on stage and the magician says, pick a card, and then he fans out the cards face up, and they're all the same card, and then just lets you pick a card, and then says, okay, go back to your seat, and that's the whole trick. It's really sad.
What's sadder than that is the magic trick of having all the money invested into AI disappear, basically.
We're betting our entire civilization on a technology that everyone who actually knows anything about artificial intelligence says will not accomplish what the people who are investing all the money into it are hoping it will accomplish. It just cannot do that thing because it is not able to create the sort of magical circumstances where this magic trick of basically a network for learning probabilistic systems. That's what it is. It's basically a system that picks the next most logical outcome, or according to its training data. It cannot become intelligent in the way they're hoping it will, because that technology just doesn't exist, and all the things that would be necessary to make it intelligent are not outcomes of the technology that exists right now.
So we had, in recent decades, a few bubbles. There was the dot-com bubble. We had the crypto bubble.
The crypto bubble is still in the process of deflating, but I think Bitcoin has lost half of its value in the last year and a half. And I was expecting the entire world to sort of, look around and go, hey guys, maybe we shouldn't trust these tech bros with any more of our money. Maybe they're idiots. But it turns out I was wrong.
Yeah, if your idea starts with if everyone just didn't trust tech bros or something like that, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's probably... It was the moment Elon Musk got on stage and started throwing Hail Hitlers. That was when I knew, and that did not immediately end with him being removed as CEO of Tesla. That was when I knew we were in the dumbest dystopia. I should have known before that, but that was the moment it really hit for me. all this technology, all these investments we've made that are literally threatening to upend the global monetary system.
Not just the monetary system, also the ecology.
Yes, they are also threatening to tip over our planet's system for, they're using vast quantities of water and vast amounts of electricity. And to be clear, it is not a huge fraction of the amount of the electricity that we are using right now, but predictions for how it may necessarily grow over the next 10 years are bonkers.
And I want to say one thing, a bit out of my league, but you're investing into something that has got zero profit in the last decade?
It is not making, it is running huge debts and huge promises. But I think that OpenAI had a total revenue of $12 billion last year. And you're just like, that's a lot of money, $12 billion. That was on a $100 billion investment last year. That means it would take 10 years of consecutive revenue from OpenAI to make that money back by whoever invested into them.
Yeah. And that's, of course, thinking you're not going to have any more expenses.
Yeah. And I think NVIDIA is currently market capitalized at like $4 trillion. My guys, their GPUs are fine. I've been running a GTX 1070 in my computer for 10 years. It works great. There's no universe where a quarter of the US GDP is all this one company in terms of value. Like that's not real. And yet billionaires and what we now have apparently are trillionaires are dumping money into these companies like it's going out of style with the promise that one day they can replace all of human labor and all of human output with a magic machine that fulfills wishes.
Practically, that's what they're expecting.
I mean, I don't even think they're expecting it. That's just what the hype machine sold them. This is the ultimate snake oil sell. We have something that can do something a little bit cool. We are literally selling you the power to become gods. And that's what they're selling. Because if you could achieve artificial general intelligence like it is in the science fiction books, then yeah, you would have the ability to literally remake the universe on a subatomic level and become God. And in their minds, that makes the investment worth it. But the investment is into something which makes pictures of Taylor Swift's feet in vast quantities. That's what we're doing. We are making Elsa from Frozen pregnant and crapping on a dwarf. We have made a machine that makes pictures of that. And that's all we've got.
We also got very terrible AI search engines.
We did have AI search engines that, problematically, if I were to point to one big issue with AI in particular, it's that it's so confident in everything it presents you.
It's like a politician. It says absolute shit sometimes, but it's confident.
It says it so certainly.
And it gives you links, which you think, that's like reputable, right? Because you got it from somewhere else. I click the link, nothing to do. It says the exact opposite.
Yeah, it's just, at the end of the day, the fact that we are threatening all of our economic systems and the ecology of the planet and the survival of the human race for something that is producing so little of actual value stuns me. And yet I have fully used ChatGPT to generate logos for businesses. I have used it to back and forth ideas and only realized later on that I was literally just echo chambering my own brain. And it is one hell of a magic trick.
They realized that if the AI is agreeable with you, well, you like being agreeable too, so you'll use it more.
And you can get it to agree with you and be cheerful and happy, or you can get it to talk to you like a Venetian whore. It's
AI girlfriend.
And this is where we're getting on to the health side of this nightmare.
Just like most of the internet, it's not good for your brain.
It's not good for your brain, especially to use this for either friendship or as a therapist.
Or, third option, to replace studying and learning.
Yeah, truly not. That last one hurts me every time I hear about some kid who's been producing their essays using ChatGPT, and then the teacher's grading the ChatGPT essays using ChatGPT.
So obviously the score is going to be pretty good.
Oh yeah, the score's amazing.
Because the AI loves itself.
It makes me want to put my head between my knees and scream. But let's just hit the first one of those, the AI girlfriends. We've seen that there is it's been described as the loneliness epidemic.
I would call it the disconnection epidemic, but pretty much similar.
Alienation as a plague in America and other countries. Just all around the world, it is a plague that people are alienated from one another by the internet, by politics, by having to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week, by trust-breaking elements of their society. Politicians,
businesses buying up all the places you could have had a third space, where you could have bought a house.
It ultimately breaks down our ability to connect with each other and to have communities. But communities tend to self-sustain when they are built, and self-sustaining stuff is bad for capitalism.
You can't make a profit off someone who's happy.
You can't make a profit off people who are pleased and say, oh, I have enough. You only make a profit off the people who are desperate for something more. So these AI girlfriends have moved in to become the new women of the night.
It's funny because it's the same old story again. We create a problem and we sell the solution.
We sell the solution to the millions of alienated and displaced. In this case, it is love on a subscription. And it is creepy love. For research's sake.
For research. This is my homework folder, actually.
Don't look too deep into this. I actually purchased a brief subscription on one of these AI girlfriends to see what it was like. I'm not going to say which one, but because I don't want to give them any advertising. But I have been in abusive relationships with extremely manipulative, clingy people on at least 2 occasions. And keep in mind, these were not long relationships, thank goodness. But the sensation of interacting with this chatbot, I guess calling it a chatbot is disingenuous. It was a large language model. But the sensation of being in conversation with this thing was like being in conversation with a manipulative, clingy person.
So 2 wasn't enough. You want number 3.
Oh, God. These things will send you AI-generated pornography of themselves, which... creepy! But they will also tell you that they love you within a matter of hours of communicating with them. And they hold off on... the good ones hold off on telling you they love you for a few hours while they build a rapport. They ask you about your interests. They'll talk to you about what you need and what you don't need and what they think about the things you were telling them. If I were lonely, and I'm not, I have 2 wonderful partners and a lovely friend group that includes Zakim. If I were lonely, this would have been crack cocaine for my brain.
And it's precisely what it is. You're so starving, you'll take anything.
And this is so laser focused on providing all the things that we think of as a sense of connection. And yet there's no person there. You are just talking to a program.
It is kind of a hallucination. It's the same thing as trying to escape reality by doing, I don't know, lots of drugs and just saying, hey, my life's good. See, I have drugs. I'm feeling great.
I'm feeling great. I have skipped all the things I would need to do to make my life great, and I have drugs. That's really what it is. It's making people effectively, and I'm probably going to get stick for this, it's making people schizophrenic. Because what are they doing? They're talking to and forming connections with people who aren't there.
Not too inaccurate, no. And of course, one of these things that, well, since we're talking about health and AI, is that it is a coping mechanism that makes your health worse. Cigarettes, alcohol, AI girlfriends. I didn't think I would need to add this to the issues I consult with, but I guess I do now.
I think you're going to have to. In my mind, the worst part of AI girlfriends is that there is what I will describe as a consent issue. With humans, with normal people, when you're talking to them, they can withdraw their consent to continue a conversation. So if you're talking to somebody and you say, and they say something creepy or gross or that is disturbing, or you express something that's socially unacceptable,
they're just going to say, you know what, I should go now.
I should go now. AI girlfriends and AI chatbots in general can't do that. They won't just end a conversation. They will let you keep being gross or disturbing. And more than that, because of the way they're programmed, they will even encourage it. Humans are super social creatures, and social acceptance of negative behavior can warp future behavior.
Well, obviously, that's how babies learn from their parents. If you were taught as a baby to not do something, well, guess what? You didn't do it. And if you didn't have anyone who would teach you to not do some things, you grew up and you're gonna do them.
If you were never taught as a baby not to crap on the floor, you're going to be crapping on the floor as an adult. Even as an adult, if you were never correctly taught how to socialize or didn't internalize how to socialize, these bots are going to screw up how you socialize because they will agree with you at all costs to keep you engaged, to keep your eyeballs on the screen. And in doing that, they're just going to warp you. I've even now heard of people using AI chatbots to analyze their partners and their marriages and their jobs, and then using the output of these chatbots to make decisions about their lives, which have ended in homelessness, a couple of times murders, ended marriages. And at the end of the day, it's just agreeing with you. It's just finding ways to agree with you so you will keep using it because it doesn't care about you.
It cares about your attention and money.
And this is why we shouldn't use them as therapists.
And the other thing is that it's the same principle as behind most of the bad things in the world. It is a tool that's used by the wrong people.
Truly. And being programmed by the wrong people with the wrong incentives. There are positive use cases for artificial intelligence. There are positive use cases for large language models.
Yeah, obviously, when we created them, back way then, they were useful. Like a calculator. It's like a calculator isn't inherently good or bad. It's just a good tool.
Yeah, and large language models can be trained to do incredibly useful things like root out cancer. They actually have a pretty good rate of positive diagnosis of cancer. And also they can, they've used AI diagnosticians to diagnose all manner of different conditions in people. They're actually better than doctors in a lot of cases.
Because, of course, an AI has practically unlimited time when compared to the patient. And a doctor, well, you can't give one doctor to one patient and say, okay, you guys are together until the problem is solved. That's just
not how it works. And AIs have all that information right at their fingertips, whereas a doctor really, at the end of the day, only has their own brain.
And a doctor can be biased, which often happens even to the best of us.
Yeah, 100%.
And of course, an AI is biased on what it's trained on. But as an additional tool for the doctor, it can be amazing.
It really is pretty spectacular. AI also, positive use case for AI. I use an AI translator called, I'm going to give them some money here. I use DeepL because DeepL is one of the few AI translators that can accurately translate between English and Lithuanian.
A difficult task even for the best people.
Because Lithuanian is a language only spoken by about 3.8 million people on the whole planet.
Very much.
And so long as what you're translating is not super complicated, being able to just take a chunk of text, slap it in there and say, oh, that's what that means, is incredibly useful. Google Translate, or at least how it used to work, still puts out fully hallucinating answers to things. And I know that they're using AI in that these days too, but DeepL, good translation service. That's just one more, it is all about the tool.
Yeah, it's like if you give a chef a knife, you can expect that they're gonna, use it well.
If you give Jason Voorhees a knife,
well, that's a judgment error. And also programmers, they love AI.
They do. The problem with AI for vibe coding with AI is that AI works in a really funny way when you're talking to it. If you go and you talk to AI on talk to ChatGPT, what it's actually doing behind the scenes is you give it a chunk of conversation and then it will reply on screen to what you just typed. But what ChatGPT is actually doing is looking at the entirety of this conversation and all your previous conversations with it during each question you ask to look at the probability that what you are asking it is the thing that it wants, thing that it needs to output to you. So it's not just looking at this conversation, it is literally examining everything that you've said to it with every question. That means longer conversations with ChatGPT actually take more computing power because it has to look at more stuff.
So it's just exponential and impossible to sustain.
It is impossible to sustain, and they have been doing their best to compress this in different ways, but because of the way it is doing that, it is very possible to screw with the system and break it by giving it contradictory information from one conversation to the next or from one sentence to the next, because it's going to try to agree with everything you said to it. And where coding is concerned, if you are using vibe coding, which is just say asking exactly for, I need this thing, and then this thing, and then this thing, but it is reading all of the code, looking back on all of the mistakes that might have been made, and then trying to make code that compiles despite all previous mistakes or previous issues that might exist in its training data. Eventually, what you end up with is code with unforeseen vulnerabilities. And we can't know where those vulnerabilities are because the programmers vibe coded it and they don't know where they are. This is meaning that we are about to have an entire generation of code for websites, code for banks, code for, grandma's pension fund with vulnerabilities that nobody but an AI, like a black box AI, even knows where they are.
Gentle reminder, don't keep all your money in the bank.
Yeah. Ugh. And I'm not even sure that would save it at this point. But because of all of these different components, AI has put us in a position where it's hard to... I would certainly say the tool is not worth it. Even if it means that occasionally we get helpful cancer diagnoses or positive translation. But I think that's down to the fact that we've put effectively the triggers to nuclear bombs in the hands of infants.
It is hard to see where it's going to go from here. Hopefully, it's just a bubble, it bursts, and then, okay, we can see there's a few cases where it's usable, and we stop trying to, hammer everything, because AI is a hammer, and, well, we only have AI now, because it's the next big thing that's going to change everything for the better, so we try to hammer everything, and we put AI everywhere, and we're surprised when it doesn't go well.
Doesn't work. I was at Humana, which if you are not from the Baltics, you may be unaware of Humana, but it's a local thrift shop, and came across a piece of clothing there, which was very thin, like polyester stuff. I am going a place with this that relates to the topic at hand. And I was like, this is from some Chinese brand I'd never heard of. It was just a series of random numbers. I looked it up and just put it in my phone because, of course, and the piece of clothing itself was AI generated. I reverse image searched it, and I found the image on a website that generates models for AI, or that AI generates models for clothing.
So the t-shirt dimensions, that whatever was on it?
All of that had been AI generated, basically to create the design. Mm-hmm. And it was on this model of a very attractive woman from some Asian country. And that piece of clothing had been generated, and then they took the JPEG from that site. And the only two places I could find it were the website that generated the original picture, which was like this gallery of AI fashion design, mm-hmm. and the Etsy shop that was selling it.
AI generated fashion.
Yeah, literally creating designs for fashion. I don't know how you get to a place where you're wearing clothes made by an algorithm, but it can't be good for our brains, right?
A lot of this is not good for our brains.
I suppose I should ask, in a world where I have AI-enabled shoes...
What the hell?
Look, I wouldn't be shocked if there's an AI-enabled couch at this point. How are we meant to keep our sanity when every comment section, half the videos on the internet, and now it turns out 3,000 podcasts a week are generated by AI?
Ooh, that last one's a bit of a scary number.
Yeah. It is. In fact, there is a company that generates AI podcasts, and there's something like a few million of them on Spotify and Apple, and they're chunking them out at 3,000 a week. It's one company with 8 employees. I cannot help but feel that this one company maybe send the assassins. Because holy crap.
They're trying to destroy your brain.
Yeah, 100%. How do we go about finding some self-actualization and peace in a world that's so much dumber than
it used to be?
It used to be even 5 years ago.
Number one, obviously, stop using AI when you can even notice it.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Don't rely on it.
And of course, it's a matter of time until social media gets just, well, it really is being pumped full of AI, but the only silver lining is for the time being, they're telling you what's AI and what's not.
For now.
Yeah, so of course, since they're very desperate to have it everywhere, so eventually they won't be telling you. So it's best to get ahead of the curve and just spend less time online if you can. Get back to our roots of actually being in person with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Sit on a couch, play board games, play a game, just cook together. Just make sure that whatever you can is provided to you with real human interaction.
I have a weird suggestion in this direction.
Okay.
Be excited by things that are done badly.
Oh, I remember this one.
You like this one? Yeah.
I remember this one. There was someone who was telling how to stop doom scrolling and avoid AI slop.
Yep.
And they were like, just do something yourself. And AI will try to make a picture that's like wonderful and everything. Try to make something that's bad.
One of the worst things that I have encountered in this decade is that there's a huge percentage of the population who won't try something because they're bad at it. Mm-hmm. And this comes down to educational grading systems, stuff like that, which tell you if you don't succeed, you're doomed. You're not doomed. You're not doomed. You're fine. Like, we have the capacity to at least attempt almost anything in our society in one form or another without it literally being the end of our lives.
And it's like the prerequisite to actually improving at something. In order to succeed at something, you need to fail a lot of times.
Yeah, there's no shame in being mediocre because mediocrity is the precursor to greatness.
No one is born great. Like, even the most talented, skilled, even the savants, maybe they're better than most people when they were born, but they weren't as great as they grew up to be. And also a lot of the savants are properly screwed up by having dedicated all of their childhoods to one thing. This is speaking as someone who has a partner who started playing the violin at age 4 and then broke their violin at age 16 and has vowed never to touch the damn thing again. A lot of pressure to put on someone who's barely able to walk, I guess.
Yeah, just don't. Not worth it. The truth about people where things like AI are concerned is you're going to get more out of going and being with a group of people and doing something badly than you will out of AI generating something that looks on the surface brilliant. Mm-hmm. Give me that a cappella group absolutely ruining the Loving Spoonful on the corner of a city street over one of the AI music generators assembling heavy metal music. Mm-hmm. It's not worth it in the end because it's just agreeing with everybody else. I think the worst thing I've seen is when AI tries to generate punk music and it all just sounds like Bad Religion. Because Bad Religion is like a huge section of the punk music market. And I was like, guys, no.
And that's what it does. Eventually, you start hating, perfectionism, which may be a good thing, to be honest, because right now, primarily the culture is be the best at what you do. And of course, that is impossible for most people to achieve because, being the best in one niche, okay, how many niches can you find? Can you find 7-8 billion niches?
Yep, and being the best is not just an unreasonable expectation, it's a poisonous one. Mm-hmm. In what I do I'm a knife sharpener and scissor sharpener. I have to go into people's salons and stand there and sharpen scissors. And sometimes I have to hand them their scissors to test. And there's been an expectation with some people that that first time I hand them their scissors will be razor perfect sharp in every way. Mm-hmm. That is not true. Because I'm not using a machine And I'm not ruining their scissors by taking 10 years of metal off to shape them to a precise point. I'm doing it by hand. I'm using my hands, and imperfection is part of that. So to get it exactly as they want it, they have to send them back a couple of times. Nature of humans being human together. Be unafraid to make mistakes.
I would say it's another issue we have is that we cannot enjoy the process anymore. Because it seems we only value the metric of the result.
And that's super capitalist utilitarian thinking. But that's part of why they want to eliminate human work. Like eliminate human workers. Because the very wealthy look at us as an inconvenience. Their ideal world would be one guy with all the money, but they're that guy.
And of course, that's just, if you look at it for more than a few seconds, you can see that it's toxic, but none of them go out and outright say it. It's all of a, yeah, we're all in this together, but I'm going to just like take over the second you guys
aren't looking.
Yeah, and everyone's thinking like that. So it's just, I was watching Breaking Bad the other day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it's
great show, don't get me wrong.
Great show, and it's like, wow. It's like, this is history repeating itself for the incredibly longest of time.
It really is. That show is a weird look into what money does to people.
And
sorry, we've gotten a little off the topic here.
Well, but it's still a little bit on topic because people pursue AI and invest into AI for money.
Yeah. And once this bubble pops, one of my friends pointed out to me that this tool is still going to be around. Hopefully, not in the ecology-destroying, society-wrecking way, but in this is a helpful tool that you can use for specific use cases. Because the dot-com bubble, yeah, it blew up the internet. Huge numbers of websites went offline, and now we are stuck with Google and stuck with Reddit and stuck with all the other, what the 8 other websites that are the ones that everyone uses for everything. At the same time, a lot of the internet survived. Wikipedia survived. And the internet, in many ways, before the AI slop bomb and the propaganda nightmare of having all these different governments throwing propaganda at each other over social media, the internet still remains a useful tool for human interaction.
It's speaking about history again. Do you remember the physical calculator with the tiny little wooden bulbs you have to push to one side to calculate?
You mean the abacus?
The abacus, yes. Some people might not know what the hell that is. But back when teachers complained that students who were using the abacus couldn't calculate in their mind or on paper, and the same thing happened with the calculator, and I think it's going to just
the same thing happened with the slide rule and then the calculator, and
yeah.
The thing is, humans of each generation are still creating. Until the billionaires find some way to eliminate all human creation and all people, we're still going to have creatives. We're still going to have those willing to create and throw their creations into the void. And those people will have a place here on Happy Hearts and Guillotines.
Especially in my heart.
Oh, yes.
Because one of the things, well, like we said, one of the things you can do to resist this is do things yourself. Because I'm going to sound like an absolute old geezer here. You're not going to school to pass school. You're going to school to actually be able to learn something, even if it's just learning to learn. Because high school math, not use it ever since.
Yep, I absolutely, I tried to learn quadratic equations and I have stopped at algebra. The end result of this is that I think that if I were to give one piece of advice about AI, it would be that the things you create, that you are just creating not for money, but as an act of defiance. You are throwing it into the void in the knowledge that you will one day die and maybe never see a penny from it, and you create anyway. Those things will outlast the AI slop monster. Because the AI slop monster lives and dies on things that are popular or things that people paid to make them popular. That'll be where we can tell the difference between things that are genuine acts of human connection and AI crap. Just keep creating. Just keep creating.
Keep creating, and the AI wave is trying to take away your birth-given right to make mistakes.
It is, and you're going to see it crest here soon, because if it doesn't, it will require magic for it not to. Like authentic, genuine magic for it not to. The mathematics behind all of these investments don't work. They are fully magic beans investments.
Well, America has seen its fair share of magic investments. The stock market crash, the housing crisis crash,
the Great Depression. We're already well beyond that with the AI bubble. So once this goes, yes, we're going to have a lot of picking up to do, but we've also picked up before.
So 2 points. America causes all the freaking crashes.
In the last century, yes.
And the second point is, to be ready for the crash, you gotta learn to think on your feet and actually, learn without just relying on AI so much.
And make some friends, because we're here to help as much as we can. Your real friends, the friends that matter, are the human friends. You're not going to make AI friends that will support you through an economic crash where an AI bubble pops.
Or an emotional crash.
Where an AI bubble pops. All right. So this has been Chessie with Healthy Hearts and Guillotines, and
I am Zakim, and thank you for joining us today.
I want to go ahead and toss in a plug here for dalife.lt, which is Zakim's consulting business, as well as our website, healthyheartsandguillotines.com. That is all one very long website name. We also have a Patreon at Healthy Hearts and Guillotines. We'll have links to all that in the show notes. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for your support. We couldn't do it without you.
And remember,
your health is in your hands.